Hello everyone, this is Hawkeye89, welcoming you to my new Let's Play, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. Let's go ahead and get started here, shall we? Now this game, unlike most N64 games, you actually have to play with the D-pad instead of the control stick. Let's go ahead and delete File 2 and start a fresh new game. Now, you might be thinking, well, this game is not exactly inspiring for a Let's Play, and perhaps it's not, but I wanted to Let's Play something that would be a little bit shorter, a little bit more laid back and casual than my previous few attempts at Let's Playing. Games like Donkey Kong 64 and Blues Brothers are somewhat intense, more anger-inducing. This game is going to be much more laid back, much more casual, and it's also going to be a much shorter Let's Play than Donkey Kong was, so let's go ahead and get started. Do you know how to use Kirby's copy ability? Yes, I do. So go ahead and skip the opening tutorial and go to the opening cutscene where Kirby's sitting in a field and... oh my. He meets the little fairy Ribbon and collects some of the first crystal shards of the game. Kirby may be a bit of an abomination to nature with how hungry he is and how the fact that he can eat absolutely everything, but he still has a good heart and he loves to help out his friends and even people whom he's just met. So when he realizes the fairy is distressed because of all the crystals getting lost, he decides to give her a hand and find them. We're going to our first level, Pop Star, Kirby's home planet. Our very first level here. It looks like we have 3 pieces of the crystal to collect. Now, basic controls. You can use the D-pad to make Kirby walk back and forth. Double tapping in any direction will cause Kirby to run. You can press B to inhale an enemy, and press B again to spit them out. Then you can press A to jump. And while you have an enemy in your mouth, as you see here, if you press down, you can absorb their ability. Right now, that spiked enemy gave me the needle ability, which will allow me to defend myself against any foes that come at me. Now, this is something unique to this game, that if you press L, Kirby will hold his ability above his head, and then you can then press B to throw it, combine it with another power, and use them both together. This is the double needle power-up, which basically causes Kirby to grow a lot of odd-looking spikes, which have a much greater range than his regular needle power. Those yellow stars that you just saw me pick up are actually not that important collectibles, but they are useful as collecting either, I can't remember if it's 50 or 100 of them, I believe it's only 50, will give you a 1-up. Swallowing certain enemies won't give you any power, but it will get them off the screen and out of your way if you want to do so. Also, if you inhale an enemy and then press L, you can hold them above your head, and inhaling certain ones, like this Bronto Burt here, will cause you actually to gain other abilities that you can't get any other way. Ouch! Looks like we've taken damage. Kirby does have a health bar. You can see he has 6 health cells down at the bottom there, which will deplete if you take damage. You only ever take 1 damage from any attack. And it looks like we found our first crystal shard here. Or a second, if you count the one in the opening cinematic. These see an enemy shooters here, you can also hold above your head. You know, fire upwards, but that's not much use to us right now. This right here, you may recognize this if you've played Super Smash Bros., is a Maxim Tomato, which will fully heal all damage that Kirby's taken to this point. Very useful. Of course, it couldn't be a Kirby game without a lot of food. Now, this game also has several mini-bosses, just like most Kirby games. This one, in this case, is very easy to defeat. He doesn't even move. Most mini-bosses will give you... most bosses, just like in any Kirby game, will give you the ability to damage them even if you don't have a power, but they are most definitely easier with powers. And here, let me show you something that I haven't shown you yet. You can combine 2 powers that are different. For instance, this Sir Kibble here had the cutter power, that's the green one, along with the needle power that we had before to create Needle Cutter. which turns Kirby into a Venus flytrap, where if any enemy gets close, or if you press B to open his arms, and then you press B again to snap them shut, which will kill any enemy directly above you or alongside. It's not a very useful power, though, since you can't move with it. Go ahead and clear this out. These Shatzos here cannot be killed with any power that you have, and they're going to be an obstacle until very late in the game. So, just avoid them if you can. Obviously, here we have some Bronto Burts, some of these spiked enemies. Here we have a little imp with bomb power-ups. We'll go ahead and use that. Bomb is actually one of my favorite powers in any Kirby game, because it's just so useful. Not to mention so satisfying to just blow things up. Go ahead and blow those up as well. And look here, we have a block that's black. This is something else that's almost unique in this game, is that there are several blocks that you can find that can only be opened with certain powers. In this case, since we have a bomb, we can blow that up. Each power, you may notice, also has a color. The cutter is orange. No, the cutter is green, needle is orange, bombs are black. We will meet other powers with other colors later on. And, oh, who's this? This is our little friend Waddle Dee, or Banana D as he's sometimes called in the fandom. He's found a crystal shard, and, uh-oh, looks like he's being attacked by that horrible eyeball eldritch abomination that attacked the Ribbon's planet in the opening. Run, Waddle Dee! But Kirby and Ribbon happen upon him just a few minutes later, and... oh my. That doesn't look good at all. Yes, the Eldritch Abomination has turned our friend Waddle Dee into Waddle Doo, our first boss of this game. Fortunately, though, he is quite easy, as long as you have a power. As I said, all bosses do give you the, ammunition, basically, to be able to inhale and then spit out at them. See these stars that he creates when he falls over? So you can beat every boss in the game without powers, but it's much easier to have them. And by beating Waddle Doo, we not only free Waddle Dee from the creature, but we also collect our third crystal shard of the level. Ribbon's very happy. We've made some good progress already. And Kirby invites Waddle Dee along. And Waddle Dee decides that for once he's going to be helpful, and he's going to come along and help with us. And at the end of every level, there's a small picnic section where you can choose what collectible you want. The red stars there are, I believe, are worth 20 stars on our star meter. The greens are worth 10, or maybe 10 and 5. I'm not exactly sure. Obviously, we have our Maxim tomatoes and sandwiches for our health. We have a 1-up. And we also have something else there. That brown card that you see is a useful item. Well, not necessarily useful, but it is a collectible item called an enemy card, which will give us an enemy's, not only their picture, as well as telling us what power they have, if they have a power, on the main menu screen. There is no reward to collecting all of them, aside from just the satisfaction of having collected all of them. I'm going to try for the 1-up here. Oh, too far. And Kirby cries, because not only did he not get any food, he didn't get any items either. So let's go on ahead to our second level here on Popstar. The Autumn Forest. You see dandelions here, enemies coming up out of the ground. We've already taken a bit of damage, but that's alright. Kirby's tough. He may not look like it, but he can actually take quite a lot of punishment. These enemies here with the parachutes, if you inhale them, you get sort of an ability to float while you fall out of the air. That's as close as we get to an actual parachute power in this game. Unfortunately, there is no parachute power like most Kirby games. We also have some rocks here that we can combine our bomb power up with very quickly here. You can also inhale more than one enemy at once, instead of combining their powers like I am. That might be a little bit easier for you. But using Rock and Bomb actually creates one of the most powerful combinations of items in this game. The Dynamite power-up. Watch. The instant the Dynamite touches something, or if you press B to detonate it, it'll explode, killing every enemy on screen. And it will even hurt Kirby as well, unless you press down on the D-pad and hide in your hard hat, which the power also provides. This power isn't that useful since it threatens to hurt Kirby as much as it hurts the enemies. So let's go ahead and get the basic rock power up. In most other Kirby games, even in Super Smash Bros., his rock power enables him to basically turn into a rock on the ground. In this game, it's a little bit different. You still turn into a rock, but in this case, the rock can actually get up and move around. And while you're a rock, you're actually invincible as well, which makes it quite a useful power. Obviously, if you get hit by anything that would normally do a lot of damage to you, the rock will simply be disabled. But you can also hurt enemies by breaking out of the rock by pressing B. Let's go ahead and hit inside this tree here. Looks like we have a needle power up here. Let's go ahead and combine our rocks with that. Testing out all sorts of crazy combinations in this game so far. Rock Needle is actually one of the more useful powers in the game, as it creates this drill which not only propels Kirby forward, but can be fired just by tapping B very quickly. These enemies here aren't going to be much of a threat to us, though we can cut them down by using our new drill power. We have a Chili here. We don't need to get his power. We already have a useful power. Let's go ahead and get our Spark power, though. I want to show this one. The Spark power, you press B, and it creates a field of electricity around Kirby that makes him basically invincible to most attacks, but it also slows your movement speed down to a crawl. And it looks like Waddle Dee wants us to join him on riding this machine here. Let's go ahead and jump on. See, now that we've rescued Waddle Dee from the Black Shadow thing, he will occasionally pop into a level to give us a hand with something while we're searching for the crystal shards. Just follow the path here and collect the stars, and you see the trail of stars leading down into the forest floor? Well, you want to jump down and try to get those. Kirby can fly in this game, but he can't fly forever, like in Kirby Superstar. So you're going to want to be careful not to just fly randomly. Go ahead and grab this cake here and avoid those bullets. Fall down into the pit. Oh, we missed a couple of power-ups there. Oh well. Now this boss, another mini-boss, very easy. We just have to use our Spark power-up and finish him off. We go ahead and get a crystal shard. Occasionally mini-bosses will drop crystal shards, but not always. And, well, what do we have here? Another one of Kirby's friends. This is Adeline. I believe she was only present in this game, which I think is too bad, because she seems like a character that would provide for great interactions with Kirby, considering he never talks. Looks like she's found a crystal shard of her own, but oh, the Dark Shadows found her too. Uh-oh. Yes, it looks like we have to face off against an evil painting. Well, sort of. Adeline's powers in this game revolve mostly around her painting abilities, which means that whatever she draws on her canvas will come to life. In this case, since she's been possessed by the Black Shadow, everything that she's drawing is an enemy of ours, some of which are actually only seen in this part of the game, and others of which are going to be previews for later. Most of these enemies die in just one shot, but Adeline's not finished. She creates an ice dragon from earlier Kirby games to attack us, but with our Spark power-up, we can defeat him with no problem. But again, she's not finished. She creates this odd, it almost looks like the Black Shadow itself, but it behaves very much like Krakow from Kirby games such as Kirby Superstar or Kirby's Magic Mirror. But again, she's not finished. She comes after us herself now, waving her paintbrush like a maniac. What do we do? Well, Kirby does have one more move that I haven't shown you yet. He presses down on the D-pad and then press A. He does a slide tackle, which does damage, but not a whole lot. It's not a very useful ability, but it does, if you don't have any power-ups and you need a basic attack, that's your best bet. So we get another crystal shard, and we freed Adeline from her possession. Just like Waddle Dee, she offers to come and help us with whatever we need. off we go to find more of the crystal shards. Now go ahead and, let me see. I'm going to try for the enemy card this time. Oh, never mind. Let me see if I can get that green star there. Yep. Looks like that green star is worth 3 stars, not 5, as I was saying before. Looks like we've opened up one more level here, but I'm actually not going to do that quite yet. We're going to end this video here, and I will be seeing you all with the rest of Popstar in the next episode of Let's Play Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards. Thank you for watching, everyone. Good night.